Yo, JD here, Limitless, and as you can see, back on F1 2020 as always. And I think we've been having Hungary galore recently because obviously we've got the Hungarian Grand Prix this weekend. I did the social race Friday, did the setup video yesterday, and today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I thought I would actually test out the 0% AI, which I have done on previous games. And I think if you look back to those videos, the AI at 0% was absolutely horrendous. I think you could have played with your feet and probably have had a good chance of actually beating that AI. So I thought, you know what, let's try it here because 110 AI seemed to be very, very strong in this game across most of the tracks, and we're going to use a completely default setup. The only thing I'm going to change is just the things that you can change on the MFD, which is the front brake bias and the on throttle. And that's it. So we're going to leave the tyre pressures, the 5-6 wings, so hardly going to have any downforce here at all. And the aim of this is really just to see how easy or how fast the 0% AI actually are. So we've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights here. And as they go out, we don't do anything. We just let them all pass. Because like I did in previous videos, I let them lap me and I see how easy it is for me to unlap myself, or if I can even unlap myself against this AI. And the thing is as well, we are rocking the default setup, which apparently the AI are also using. So I thought it'd be fair to do that because I think with the actual setup on, it might be a little bit too easy, but I have no idea. I've never gone against the 0% AI, only the 110 AI. So now we literally just wait.
5 minutes later.
So as we do wait for quite a while, see it's going almost 90 seconds down. Now they're coming round. So I was planning to just let the leader overtake me, no one else, but kind of bottled that a little bit. So now we're underway, and let's see how they look. So going through this first corner, quite slow on the apex, but on the exit we just get some insane acceleration, and that's a nice easy move. Sebastian Vettel, but going straight on, and that has caught me off guard because there was no practice going into this or anything at all. It is with that 5-6 wings having no downforce, makes it feel like I have a 0 front wing pretty much. So go down the inside of Verstappen. Albon is actually leading, which I know would be very, very good for him right now as we get the move done on him. But the 5-6 wings compared to the 6-10 or the setup I was running yesterday in the social race is night and day. It feels like I have half a front wing at the moment. The downforce is just so important in this game. It's absolutely crazy. You can see we're just struggling to stay on the track itself, and you will notice there is no invalidations or anything because I had to turn off the rules in order to just sit on the grid, otherwise I'd be disqualified. But we will do our best to try and keep it within track limits at all times. And now it's just a case of how quickly can we catch anyone. And you can see by the delta, not that consistent here, but I think this is going to be the fastest lap of my race. And going to this turn 1, you can see lap time's going down at 1:27 by Charles Leclerc so far, having to use first gear because again there's just no downforce. And you'll also notice that I'm locking up so much in this video, and that is also because of the downforce. There is no braking or anything at all. With more downforce, the stopping distances are shorter. You know, the car, as you go off the throttle, it naturally wants to slow down, and it's just not slowing down because engine braking is pretty much non-existent in this game. You actually have to use the brakes or rely on the downforce to try and stick the car and slow the car down. And since we don't have any downforce, it's not stopping. So I'm locking up a lot in here. You can just see again, just struggling to keep on the road. It is absolutely insane, the difference. And I will be doing a comparison over a 5-lap distance or maybe a 25 distance with a setup and then without a setup to see how big the difference is, because I think it will be quite extraordinary how much time you're going to get. And again, just about staying on track. And the lap time is a 1:18.3. And for reference, yesterday in the social race, I was doing a 1:17, so almost a second faster in a 50% race as well. So this is only a 25% race, which is mind-blowing. You can already see that the tyre temperature, the front left, is on fire, literally on fire. It's 110 degrees. It's just insanity. It's insanity, and that's the thing with setups. It is crucial. Now, you could have a very, very fast setup over a lap, but if it's not good in the race, you are going to be punished so badly, and that's why I try and make my setups to be usable for the race itself, because this one here, it feels like, again, just my wing is just broken off. So we're going to go pit, and you can see we have made up quite a lot of time on the guys ahead, but my tyres just dropped off instantly with those default tyre pressures, and just the wings close together, and just it's too much load, and the car just doesn't like it at all. It feels horrible. It feels absolutely horrible. But now we've decided to pit early, put on some fresh medium tyres, and now let's see if we can do anything about this and going out. We've got about a 46-second gap, but the guys ahead haven't pitted yet. So coming across into the last corner, you can see everyone in front of me has pitted or in the pits right now. And let's see, set a purple middle sector, didn't set a purple last sector, so confirming these tyres are going to be much quicker at this stage than I would on the soft. The softs were literally just melting. You can see again having to use first gear because the car's just not stopping. It's not stopping at all, and I think you'll be able to see it again going to here. It's absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I can't put into words how bad it is. My teammate is now into the pits, and I was just checking again to see if my wing was broken or something like that, because it's just, you know, the lines we're taking, it feels like I'm driving in the wet, literally, compared to with a normal setup, and it just emphasises how important it really, really is. But you can see the gap now, it's only about 8 seconds to Pierre Gasly, so we're slowly starting to make some inroads. So after 7 laps, I think on the previous games, you could actually lap the 0% AI in 5 laps. That's how easy it was. They were like 20 seconds a lap slower than you or something like that. Whereas this game, I can already tell straight away that they are a considerable step up from the previous games. And that's what I found of the 110 AI as well. 110 AI are not unbeatable. Maybe at some tracks they might be a little bit unbeatable, but across the board they are just consistently faster than F1 2019. But now we have come up on some cars, so this is where the fun begins. Let's see how easy it is to overtake and how quickly we can navigate ourselves through this field. So coming up behind Pierre Gasly, the AlphaTauri, being very, very cautious here, but so going to go around the outside of this fast right-hander, then darting to the right to get past Nicholas Latifi, and now we've got Giovinazzi in the Alfa Romeo. Going to go down the inside of here, so quite nice, easy moves. AI not being difficult. Now we've got Kvyat and George Russell, who's doing pretty well in the Williams. Hopefully he can have a good weekend this weekend here, and you can just see gaining time so quickly on these cars up ahead of us. Can't go flat out here with this setup here because he's turning a little bit early. In fact, he's going actually a little bit defensive, but get the move done, trying to get a good exit this corner, and we should be able to go down the inside of the Williams, so that is nice and easy enough. And we should be able to get the DRS on Roman Grosjean here going into the last corner. They are very, very slow on this apex, and he's on the hard tyre. That is just typical of Grosjean doing something like that. But now we're behind his teammate Magnussen. Don't think we're able to go through a dive bomb. So on the brakes, they seem to be pretty reasonably good on the brakes. It's just the apex speed, the apex and the acceleration you can see as well. It seems to be their Achilles heel, whereas before they would literally be braking 50 meters earlier than you or something like that. So that's good to see that they have made that improvement. We're going through into here now, going behind Kimi Raikkonen, and not going to go around the outside of him. Decide to wait, be a little bit patient, go down the inside. He's being very, very defensive into the chicane. So obviously the 0% AI is not wanting to make this easy for me by any means of stretch. Checking to see if I've had damage, but I don't. But now we are behind Carlos Sainz and this should be another quite easy move, because again, it seems to be, as we make a little bit of contact, seems to be really just their apex speed is the main problem that they have with this. Now coming behind Sergio Perez, and we've got a few cars, quite a bit of big train of cars. I think his teammate is eating that train of cars here. Probably not going to be close enough to go around the outside of this corner, which we're not. I think we'll go wait and get a nice little switch back, get the DRS sign, put on the overtake button, because we've still got a lot of ERS left. Giovinazzi has gone out of the race, so that's unfortunate for him. And now we're behind Esteban Ocon. We're thinking about going on the outside, but the dirty air, and again, although not directly behind, dirty air, which I will be doing in a video soon, because we'll probably be having 4 hungry videos in a row or something like that, is absolutely horrendous. It's very, very underestimated how significant the dirty air is, because it just changes the behaviour of the car so much. And to be honest, it's good to see. That's how I would want it to be. So track position is going to be a lot more crucial this year, and I'm all for that. Now we're behind Daniel Ricciardo, trying to get a nice line off this corner and doing the same as what we did on Carlos Sainz. This time not making the contact, getting the move done, managing just about to stay on track. And now we are behind the big boys. We've got Leclerc coming up, and you can see the AI has got about a 5-second gap to really the midfield cars, you can call it. But we're going to go through here now, and let's see how much time we can gain. So the gap is about 4 seconds as we come out of the score. Now under 4 seconds, you can just see again the apex speed. Let's see what it is in a straight line. So in a straight line, we are gaining quite a bit of time, although the delta is not completely accurate. Going under brakes, gaining a bit of time, locking up again, and it's just the acceleration. I think we might even be able to get him going into this first sector. Let's see how close we can get. Let's go over here. You can just see the apex speed that he is carrying is just so much slower than what we are able to do. And again, if we were using a setup, I actually think we'd be going about a second a lap faster right now. I think we would be going so much faster. To go down the inside, he's not going to make it difficult for us. And now we're behind my teammate Lewis Hamilton. I decided to be Valtteri Bottas because I know so many people have said to me in the past, don't play as Hamilton because he is the best AI. So I decided to play as Bottas instead. And I don't think we're going to be close enough to do the move like we did on Sainz and Ricciardo through here. But on the exit of this, let's see if my teammate makes it easy for me. And no, he is not making it easy for me. He is not enjoying him lapping me and then me unlapping myself. He is not a big fan of that. Just thinking about going down the inside here, but decided to think a little bit better of it. There's no real need to do that. Going around the outside, smashing Vettel. And now we've got Albon, who's now in second. So Verstappen, that means, is now leading the race. And we didn't get the DRS, which is a bit weird, actually. I think we should have been close enough for the DRS here. We're going to go down the inside, outbraking him. And again, that's probably the most impressive thing about the 0% AI, is that actually not that bad on the brakes. It's just everything else. It's just the apex and the exit. And you can see again, trying to carry a bit too much speed. If we were using a setup, we would have been absolutely glued to the road here. And now we're behind Verstappen, and we should be getting this move done pretty quickly. We're not going to get it to this right-hander, but I think on the exit of it, we should have a very good opportunity. He goes semi-defensive, so he doesn't want to lose his lead, but there we go. That is mission accomplished, but it is not over. We're going to keep on going, obviously, to the end of this race, compare lap times, and see how much time I can pull on the 0% AI, because I'm really impressed with this, actually. I think some people would actually might even struggle against the 0% AI. If you've never played an F1 game in your life, or you've never been on the wheel before, you can see the tyre temperatures are now through the roof again. I think you might actually struggle to beat this AI. Now, if you weren't in a Mercedes, if you're in, I don't know, a Red Bull or McLaren, and you had zero experience, then you might actually struggle, because they are actually quite good, I think. You can see the tyre temperatures are still absolutely on fire, but we've actually caught up to the back of Nicholas Latifi, and if you weren't paying attention to that time, it looks to be we're about 7 seconds a lap faster than Max Verstappen, which for 0% AI in the past it was over 20 seconds, I think. So to be that much closer is really, really impressive. But again, I think if we were using a setup, and I think I might actually do this, it'd be interesting to see how much faster my race time is. Try and go down the inside of, I'm not sure who that was, if it was Gasly, didn't get damaged though, go down the inside of Russell. But yeah, with a setup, I think it'd be very, very interesting. I think I could definitely be, it could even be up to 15 seconds faster or more in a race time with the setup. That's how dominant it actually is. So make sure that when you go into an online lobby, you try and have a setup for each track, because if you don't, you are going to be at a severe disadvantage. And that's why I'm trying to help everyone with a setup as quickly as I can, because I know how important and frustrating it is when you can't find a good balance. Coming off this last corner, so we've managed to lap quite a few cars now already. Not sure who that is up ahead of us going into turn 1. Again, they're quite good in the brakes. That's Kvyat and then Romain Grosjean. And Kvyat's on the mediums. I think Grosjean's the only person who's on the hard tyres. That is just, like I said before, only Romain Grosjean would probably do something like that. But we managed to navigate him pretty nicely. And now we've got another car up ahead. We might be able to get them into the slow right-left chicane if we manage to do this pretty well. And it is Magnussen, his teammate. And yes, I think we should be able to do him into this corner. He doesn't defend, nice and chilled. Get the move done. And let's see if there's another car up ahead. You can see tyre temperatures are actually starting to slow down. Starting to calm down, sorry. Just a little bit here. And a lot of people say, why don't you use that much fuel? I think it's always better to have a reserve. It doesn't really make too much difference for me on my lap time. And it's really just about getting good traction in the lean. And then just looking after the engine temperatures as well, because that's really, really important. I think, as I said, it's always better to just have some than really stretch the limits of it, because you never know what can happen in a race. You can never know. You might need to expend a lot at a good time to try and catch people or pull away. So it's always good to have about a lap reserve, I think, in my opinion. But coming through here, onto the last lap of the race now. You can see the gap is about 42 seconds coming off the exit of turn 1. And again, typically, as I said, I would expect the gap to be around 49 seconds at the end of this lap if we're going to keep in this 7-second a lap trend. So we're going to exhaust most of my overtake buttons as much as I can. Going through here, Raikkonen, go get to the inside again. And yeah, nice move. Should be able to get maybe potentially another couple of cars, or if we've got McLaren or Carlos Sainz up here. Can't see anyone else on the mini-map as well, so this might be the only car that I can unlap myself, or lap the car itself, sorry. Going for this fast right-hander, almost losing the car here, and I think that's probably going to be the last car that we're going to lap. See, the gap is about 40, almost 46 seconds, so again, I'm very, very impressive at how good this AI actually is. It's really, really strong actually, in fact, because I think if you put it to like 70%, it might not even be able to lap them, potentially. Coming off this last corner now, going across the line, we have won the Hungarian Grand Prix against a 0% AI. And I have to say, I was really, really impressed with that. And we're going to just go look at the lap times now. Of course, we get driver of the day, because if we didn't get driver of the day, there would be an absolute riot. But overall, yeah, I was quite impressed, and a significant step up from the previous games itself. So we're just going to look at the lap times, and as I said, it looks to be around a 7-second difference. But as we have the podium here, nice little celebration, nice little trophy. Let me know who you think is going to win the race, because I might release this video before the race itself. If not, then you already know who has already won this race. But we'll be able to look at the lap times now as they come up on the screen. And I did a 18.3 and they did a 27, so about 9 seconds difference. But we'll look at the race director, Max Verstappen. He did a 27 every single lap apart from his in and out laps and the first lap. So incredibly consistent AI versus myself. In the first stint, he wasn't actually that much slower at all, really, to be honest. And then for the rest of the stint, I'd say about 7 seconds. Yeah, 7 or 8 seconds, something like that. So for 0% AI, it is very, very impressive. Let me know what you think. Thank you for supporting my videos, and I'll catch you very soon. Peace.